ground splits open like ancient scars that never healed. Across the scorched plains of Hwange National Park, the sun-baked earth tells a story of survival and loss. Massive elephant carcasses lie motionless, their clouded eyes fixed on a vanishing horizon, silent witnesses to a once thriving world. El Niño arrived like a ghostly force, disrupting the natural rhythm and driving rainfall to a near halt. The drought gripped the land with merciless intensity, turning once fertile terrain into a brittle, unforgiving wilderness. Now, in the stillness of the red dust, the remains of elephants rest like unanswered prayers beneath a sky that refuses to cry. Predators endure. Lions, emblems of raw power and resilience, continue to rule this arid kingdom. In their shadow, the weakest slowly surrender. Welcome to Wild Hwange, where dominance is etched into the dust, and only the strongest survive. In the heart of the arid lands of western Zimbabwe, where the sun bakes the soil and the wind drives clouds of dust across lifeless plains, a lion moves silently through its pride. Each step is measured, not just by hunger, but by the weight of survival. Not far away, an aging African elephant digs patiently into the cracked earth, searching for water near the rim of a nearly dried-up artificial waterhole. These last remaining pools are lifelines and battlegrounds. The black rhinoceros, once a mighty guardian of these lands, now moves in shadows. It emerges only under the cover of night, wary of human presence and the brutal heat of day. Its existence has become a quiet defiance in a land growing ever more hostile. Here in Hwange National Park, the struggle for survival has never been more fragile. Climate change is rewriting the rhythms of nature, turning fertile savannas into brittle grasslands. The dry season stretches longer, water holes vanish, and as natural resources dwindle, poaching rises, a desperate consequence of desperation itself. Life in Hwange hangs in delicate balance, caught between ancient instincts and the relentless march of human impact. Located in the northwestern reaches of Zimbabwe, bordering Botswana, Hwange National Park is the country's largest wildlife reserve, covering over 14,600 square kilometers. It sits strategically between two major travel hubs, approximately 200 kilometers northwest of Bulawayo and just over 100 kilometers southwest of Victoria Falls, easily accessible, yet still wild at heart. Hwange serves as a critical biological corridor, linking protected areas within the Kavango-Zambezi Transfrontier Conservation Area. It's not just a haven for wildlife, it's a living laboratory for researchers, a frontline in the battle against climate change, and a stark reflection of how deeply ecosystems are intertwined with the choices of humanity. Geologically, much of the park lies atop ancient Kalahari sand, forming a sweeping landscape of dry grasslands and open woodlands. In the northwest, the land hardens into basalt rock from the Boca Formation. Farther north, granite and gneiss dominate the terrain, shaping a flat yet ecologically rich mosaic. Mopane woodlands, Zimbabwe teak forests, baobabs, and seasonal grasslands form a patchwork of life. Hwange climate is classified as tropical semi-arid. Rain falls mainly between November and March, while the dry season extends from April to October. During peak months, daytime temperatures often soar above 35 degrees Celsius, while winter nights can plunge below 5 degrees Celsius. These extreme shifts create a rhythm that only the hardiest species can follow. The park is a sanctuary for more than 100 mammal species and over 400 bird species. Among its most notable inhabitants is one of the largest populations of wild elephants on the continent, giants whose survival defines the fate of this wilderness. At the heart of Hwange, in its northeastern quadrant, lies the main camp area, the park's largest section, covering roughly 10,765 square kilometers. This area doubles as the administrative hub and showcases the quintessential semi-arid landscape, mopane trees stretching over parched earth, interrupted by dusty grasslands during the dry season. Though sparse in appearance, this ecosystem is rich in purpose. It provides shelter, passage, and promise to species whose futures are tied to the ebb and flow of this resilient but threatened land. Life in the dry season hinges entirely on an intricate network of over 60 man-made pans, artificial waterholes fed by underground aquifers. These are carefully managed on a rotating schedule to ensure a constant supply of water for wildlife. Around these vital lifelines, some of Africa's most iconic species gather: elephants, buffalo, kudu, zebras, and an array of formidable predators, including lions and leopards. In this arid landscape, the pumped pans are nothing short of a miracle of survival. Among the animals that depend on these resources are the wildebeest. They travel in herds that often number in the hundreds, their collective mass forming a moving wall of muscle and instinct. This visual barrier serves as protection. When a single member senses danger, the entire herd reacts as one. In a thunderous, synchronized gallop, they shift direction rapidly, disorienting predators and breaking their focus. Capable of reaching speeds up to 80 kilometers per hour and sustaining them over long distances, wildebeest frequently escape even the lightning-fast pounce of cheetahs or the tactical ambushes of wild dogs. As the dry season wears on and grass becomes scarce, these resilient grazers embark on short-distance migrations within Hwange. Not the epic cross-continental treks seen in the Serengeti, but purposeful movements nonetheless. From late October through April, during the rainy season, they drift from the park's southern edges deeper into main camp, where fresh grasses erupt across ancient basalt and alluvial soils. With the return of the dry season, the herds retreat toward the pumped pans, where whatever water and greenery remain become essential to survival. Wildebeest primarily feed on soft grasses found in open areas. As their hoofs churn the soil, They aid in natural seed dispersal and pollination, playing a quiet but vital role in the regeneration of the grasslands. Their presence is accompanied by a lively entourage. Oxpeckers ride along their backs, feeding on parasites, while vultures soar overhead, ever watchful for a weakened straggler. Births come in tight, synchronized waves at the onset of the rains, when food is most abundant. Newborn calves stand within minutes and run shortly after. Nature's imperative for survival in a world filled with threats. But despite their rapid start, few survive the trials of their early years. There is no grand spectacle, no fanfare. The wildebeest move quietly across Hwange's open plains, resolute, enduring. These tireless pilgrims are the lifeblood of the grasslands, pulsing through the main camp area and renewing the ecosystem with every passing season. Just as the thunder of their hooves fades into the dust, a new sound stirs, a low, resonant roar rolling across the mopane haze. The lion announces its presence, the apex predator, the eternal rival of the wildebeest, stalking the silence that follows the herd. Lions, members of the Panthera genus, share a common ancestor with other big cats and have evolved over the last 2 million years to thrive in the harsh, semi-arid environments of southern Africa. Their muscular build, keen night vision, and highly social behavior set them apart as apex predators perfectly adapted to the savanna. A mature male can weigh up to 225 kilograms and is distinguished by his thick, dark mane, an evolutionary signal of strength and reproductive fitness. The darker and fuller the mane, the healthier the lion is perceived to be, making him more attractive to females. Standing around 1.2 meters at the shoulder and stretching over 2 meters in length, lions are built for power. They can leap up to 10 meters and sprint at speeds of up to 80 kilometers per hour, albeit only for short bursts. Unlike most other big cats, lions live in complex social groups known as prides. A typical pride includes 5 to 20 individuals, though some can grow to over 40 in stable environments. These groups are composed of related females, their cubs, and 1 to 3 dominant males who defend the territory and sire offspring. In the main camp region, where herds of wildebeest and zebra converge on the man-made waterholes during the dry season, pride life offers lions a distinct advantage. Female lions take on the role of hunters, often working in small groups of 2 to 5. Using terrain, vegetation, and the cover of night, they stealthily stalk their prey. Success depends not just on brute strength, but on careful coordination. One lion may initiate a chase, while others lie in ambush, closing in from the sides or rear. Although their hunting success rate hovers around 20 to 30%, a single successful kill can feed the entire pride for several days. The feeding hierarchy is strictly enforced. Males eat first, followed by the lionesses, and finally the cubs. This order reflects both physical dominance and the male's protective role in the pride. Lions can go days without water, drawing moisture from fresh meat. However, their survival still hinges on reliable prey access, particularly around the pumped pans, which become magnets for herbivores during the dry season. The connection between lions and their habitat is most visible in main camp, where territorial boundaries are clearly defined. Each pride occupies a range of roughly 20 to 40 kilometers in radius, marked by scent, urine sprays, and scratch marks left on trees or the ground. The roar of a dominant male can travel up to 8 kilometers, serving as both a declaration of territorial control and a warning to rival males roaming in search of a pride to conquer. As the lion retreats from its kill, the eerie cackling of a spotted hyena cuts through the stillness of the savanna. In this harsh landscape, strength alone doesn't guarantee survival. Here, hyenas thrive as cunning opportunists, often shadowing lions, waiting patiently for the moment to swoop in and claim what remains. They are not necessarily better hunters, but they have mastered the art of impeccable timing. Spotted hyenas descend from a distinct lineage within the Hyenidae family, diverging from their relatives roughly 2 million years ago. Their appearance is unmistakable. Powerful forelimbs that tower over shorter hind legs give them a sloped silhouette, designed not for speed, but for stamina. Measuring up to 1.8 meters in length and weighing as much as 85 kilograms, they are built for endurance over long distances. What they lack in beauty, they make up for in biological efficiency. A hyena's heart is nearly twice the relative size of a lion's, allowing it to maintain high speeds over extended chases. Its jaws are among the strongest in the animal kingdom, exerting over 750 newtons per square centimeter, strong enough to shatter the leg bones of a wildebeest with ease. Hyenas are not loners. They live in structured clans, complex social units that can consist of up to 70 individuals. At the top of the hierarchy stands the dominant female, larger than her male counterparts and fully in control. She has priority access to food and reproduction, and her lineage often dictates the pecking order within the group. Clans defend vast territories, often spanning dozens of square kilometers, using scent markings and their signature whoop calls to define boundaries and stay in contact. Their vocalizations, giggles, screeches, groans, aren't random. They form a rich communication system capable of transmitting identity, mood, and intent. At main camp, where herds of zebra, wildebeest, and kudu gather around pumped water pans during the dry season, hyenas are a constant presence. Sometimes they scavenge, but just as often, they hunt. Contrary to their reputation, they are far more than scavengers. In fact, studies show that up to 70% of their diet is composed of prey they have hunted themselves. These hunts typically occur under the cover of darkness or during the cool hours of early morning. With their formidable stamina, they can chase prey until it collapses from exhaustion. When the kill is made, the entire clan feasts, an efficient, cooperative system that underscores the true intelligence and resilience of this often misunderstood predator. Across the sun-baked savanna near main camp, a herd of sable antelope moves with quiet grace toward a distant waterhole. Their sweeping, scimitar-shaped horns catch the first light of day, gleaming like polished obsidian. These majestic creatures are more than just striking silhouettes on the horizon. They are national icons. The sable antelope is the emblem of the Zimbabwe Parks and Wildlife Management Authority, chosen to symbolize the strength, resilience, and untamed spirit of the nation. Sable antelopes are unmistakable. Their muscular bodies, arched necks, and flowing black manes give them a regal presence. But their most defining feature, the long, backward curving horns that can reach up to 165 centimeters in adult males, are not mere ornaments. They are formidable weapons. When cornered, sable antelope have been known to stand their ground against lions, wielding those lethal horns with precision and power. Within the main camp area, these antelope are specialized grazers. They favor tender grasses, succulent leaves, and nutrient-rich herbs, particularly those that flourish around termite mounds. Each mouthful is chosen with purpose, rich in protein and essential minerals, fuel for their endurance and the development of strong, healthy horns. But life on the savanna is rarely easy. During long dry seasons, as food dwindles, sable antelopes are forced to share their preferred grazing grounds with larger, more competitive species like elephants and buffalo. The competition places immense pressure on their survival. Even so, the sable antelope is no passive participant in this ecological theater. It survives through memory and strategy. Individuals learn the contours of the land, recall safe havens, and pass information through the herd. Rather than embarking on long migrations, they rotate through familiar, resource-rich areas near main camp, guided by an internal map refined over generations. Their way of life is one of quiet resilience, of knowing when to move forward, when to retreat, and when to vanish into the stillness of the dry forest. It's a rhythm that feels almost sacred, as though orchestrated by something greater, a living testament to wisdom, etched not in books, but in the dust and breath of the wild. As the herd of sable antelope drifts silently across the savanna, subtler, lighter movements begin to stir at the edges of the tall grass. Slipping into view are impalas, the smaller, more agile antelopes of the quiet plains. With their sleek frames and extraordinary adaptability, impalas have carved out a vital role in the intricate web of life within Hwange National Park. These graceful animals thrive in large herds, sometimes numbering in the hundreds, especially during the breeding season, when a dominant male temporarily assumes leadership. Their social structure is reinforced not just through hierarchy, but through a delicate and intimate behavior known as grooming. This mutual grooming ritual involves gently nibbling at one another's coats with their teeth, removing parasites while simultaneously reducing stress and reinforcing social bonds. It's both a health regimen and a form of emotional maintenance, critical in the demanding life of a prey species. Though slight in stature, the impala's athleticism is astonishing. With a single bound, it can leap more than 10 meters in distance, or soar over 3 meters into the air, easily clearing dense thickets or evading an ambush. When fleeing danger, they can reach speeds of up to 80 kilometers per hour, turning escape into an art form. Whether darting from wild dogs or dodging the claws of a lion, these bursts of speed and agility often spell the difference between life and death. Effortlessly outpacing the impala, the cheetah reigns as the fastest land predator on Earth. Capable of reaching speeds up to 110 kilometers per hour, it's a master of acceleration, going from 0 to nearly 100 in just under 3 seconds. In the wide open savanna near Hwange's main camp, where speed is the ultimate currency of survival, the cheetah doesn't depend on brute force or group tactics. It needs only a single perfect opportunity to strike with breathtaking precision. Unlike lions or leopards, the cheetah cannot roar. It belongs to a different genus, a Cynonox, not Panthera, and instead communicates through a repertoire of soft chirps, purrs, and gentle growls, reminiscent of domestic cats. These subtle sounds are vital, especially between mothers and cubs, helping them stay connected while moving silently through grasslands filled with threats. Distinctive black tear marks stretch from the eyes down to the mouth, natural sunshades that reduce glare and sharpen focus during hunts. Cheetahs are diurnal hunters, choosing daylight hours to avoid confrontations with more powerful nocturnal competitors like lions and hyenas. Every detail of the cheetah's body is designed for speed. Long limbs, a flexible spine, a deep chest, oversized nasal passages, and a high-capacity heart and lungs all contribute to its explosive chases. Its semi-retractable claws provide extra traction, while its long, muscular tail acts like a rudder, counterbalancing its turns as it weaves through uneven terrain in pursuit of prey. Unlike pack hunters, cheetahs are solitary. Males sometimes form small coalitions, but they typically stalk alone, each step silent, calculated, and timed with the precision of a shadow creeping over the earth as the afternoon sun begins to dip. Their vision is exceptionally sharp. Forward-facing eyes give the cheetah binocular focus, allowing it to spot movement from over 5 kilometers away. Once within striking range, usually 60 to 100 meters, it launches forward like an arrow from a bow. Each stride can span nearly 7 meters, rapidly closing the distance between predator and prey. But with such specialization comes vulnerability. The cheetah's power lies in speed, not strength. A sudden appearance by a lioness or hyena often forces it to abandon a fresh kill before taking even a single bite. Unable to drag heavy prey or defend its meals, the cheetah must choose its hunting grounds and timing with care. This delicate balance of speed and fragility shapes the cheetah's strategy. It hunts at dawn or dusk when the light favors its vision, and the fiercest competitors are still resting. For the cheetah, survival is a race not just against prey, but against the dangers that follow. High above the savanna, where a cheetah streaks across the earth with unmatched speed, another predator dominates the skies. Cutting through the wind with silent precision, the lanner falcon patrols its aerial domain. Sleek, agile, and relentless, it can dive at speeds exceeding 140 kilometers per hour, plummeting like a feathered missile into the heart of the plains. The lanner falcon is a medium-sized raptor, measuring 43 to 50 centimeters in length, with a wingspan stretching up to 105 centimeters. Juveniles bear darker brown plumage, often mistaken for similar species like the peregrine or saker falcon. But one unmistakable feature sets the lanner apart: a sharp, curved beak equipped with a toenail tooth, a specialized notch used to deliver a precise, fatal bite to the spine of its prey, swiftly ending any struggle. In the open grasslands surrounding Hwange's main camp, where shrubs are sparse and sightlines stretch unobstructed, the lanner falcon executes one of the most refined aerial hunting strategies in the bird world. Unlike other falcons that rely on high-speed vertical dives, the lanner favors horizontal pursuits. It chases small birds and insects at eye level, banking through the air with pinpoint control. Its hunting technique is a spectacle of coordination. As it zeroes in on its target, the falcon adjusts the tilt of its wings and accelerates with incredible agility, reaching speeds of up to 144 kilometers per hour. Striking from the side, it snatches its quarry mid-flight or just above the treetops, using razor-sharp talons in a blur of motion. Unlike many migratory raptors, lanner falcons don't travel long distances seasonally. However, they do disperse after breeding, particularly when environmental conditions shift. As a result, sightings in Hwange, especially near main camp, vary with the seasons. They are most frequently observed just after the rains, when vegetation thickens and populations of small birds surge, providing a feast of opportunity in the skies. Larger than the agile lanner falcon, with a wingspan nearing 2 meters, the steppe eagle carves wide, unwavering circles through the sky, silent, commanding, and watchful. From above, it appears almost like a ghostly signature across the biological map of Hwange National Park, a transient presence from a distant world, drawn here when winter tightens its grip across the Central Asian steppes. Though they do not breed in this region, steppe eagles are reliable visitors during the dry season, arriving between October and March, measuring between 70 and 85 centimeters in length and weighing up to 4 kilograms. These birds are built for endurance and power. A thick neck, sharply curved beak, and small head give them a distinct, formidable silhouette, one defined by strength and stamina. As summer fades in the north, the first chill winds herald the beginning of a vast migration. Thousands of steppe eagles abandon their nesting grounds, embarking on a transcontinental odyssey. Some veer towards Iran and India. Others cross the Arabian Peninsula, descending into the sun-baked savannas of Africa, where places like Hwange offer open landscapes and plentiful food. On the wing, they can cover up to 350 kilometers a day, riding thermal uplifts to conserve energy over vast, arid distances. Hwange's main camp provides a welcome haven. Its open terrain, the natural scattering of carcasses from large herbivores, and even informal waste sites offer reliable foraging grounds. Here, the steppe eagle reveals another side, part predator, part opportunist. They often scavenge, sometimes challenging vultures or robbing smaller raptors of their catches, earning them the nickname the thief eagle. Despite their scavenging tendencies, steppe eagles are skilled hunters when opportunity strikes. Their diet includes carrion. But they're fully capable of taking live prey, everything from small birds to snakes and desert lizards. From high altitudes, they scan the earth below with extraordinary eyesight. Once movement is detected, they dive with deadly force, reaching speeds of up to 290 kilometers per hour. Their talons hit with crushing power, ending the hunt in a single, swift strike. Beneath the sweeping shadow of the steppe eagle, another scavenger quietly makes its entrance across the carcass-littered plains of main camp. It is the white-backed vulture, once the most widespread vulture species in Africa, now fading from skies it long dominated. With a wingspan reaching up to 2.3 meters, the white-backed vulture glides effortlessly, soaring for hours on rising thermals in search of food. Its featherless head and neck, paired with a cloak of silvery white plumage along the back, cut a striking figure in the air. A dark face and piercing gaze complete the look of a specialist evolved for a very particular purpose, feeding on death to preserve life. Every feature of this bird tells a story of survival. Its bald head reduces the risk of infection when feeding deep inside carcasses. Its keen eyesight allows it to spot the fallen from hundreds of meters above. When one vulture descends, Dozens more often follow, spiraling downward in a coordinated signal that a meal has been found. In Hwange's main camp, where wildebeest, zebra, and buffalo fall to drought, injury, or old age, the white-backed vulture fulfills a vital role. Though not powerful enough to rip open thick hides like hyenas, they are uniquely adapted to reach deep into body cavities, clearing out soft tissues and organs, those parts most prone to rot. In doing so, they help contain bacteria and prevent disease from spreading through the ecosystem. But these birds are more than just nature's sanitation team. They are social creatures, nesting in loose colonies high in trees near water. Most return to the same nest sites year after year. Each breeding season, a female lays just one egg, which she and her mate incubate for roughly 55 days. The chick will not leave the nest for over 3 months, a slow and vulnerable start to life in a harsh world. That slow reproductive rate, combined with high mortality among young and adult birds alike, makes the species dangerously susceptible to even small disruptions. Habitat loss, poisoning, and human interference can tip the balance, triggering a collapse not just in vulture numbers, but across the entire biological system they help hold together. Nestled within the main camp region of Hwange National Park, Niño stretches across an expanse of over 1,180 square kilometers. It is one of the park's most frequented and ecologically significant areas, largely thanks to a network of 14 artificial waterholes, maintained year-round. During the long, unforgiving dry season, when most natural water sources vanish, these waterholes become lifelines. They draw a steady procession of wildlife. Towering elephants, herds of African buffalo, a variety of antelope, and flocks of wild birds, all converging on this vital oasis. The deep boreholes that feed the pans are powered by a mix of diesel and solar energy, ensuring a reliable water supply through even the harshest months. Without them, the delicate ecological balance of this region would quickly unravel. Niño plays an outsized role in supporting Zimbabwe's largest elephant population, estimated at between 30,000 to 40,000 individuals. But its importance doesn't stop with mammals. Over 400 species of birds have been recorded here, a testament to the area's astonishing biodiversity. This engineered water system is more than a conservation tool. It is a symbol of adaptation, a man-made solution sustaining one of Africa's last great wildernesses, where life endures against the odds. At Hwange, the water glistens beneath the searing midday sun, shimmering like rippling glass. Just beneath the surface, faint movements betray a quiet presence. Pairs of ears, nostrils, and watchful eyes emerge with barely a ripple. Not crocodiles, not elephants. These are the so-called river horses, the mighty hippopotamuses, some of Africa's most remarkable and misunderstood creatures. Massive in size and curious in form, an adult male hippopotamus can grow up to 5 meters in length and weigh over 4,500 kilograms, making it the third largest land mammal on Earth, after the African elephant and the white rhinoceros. Despite their bulk, they move with surprising grace in water, where their buoyant, barrel-shaped bodies and short muscular legs allow for steady propulsion. Webbed toes give them firm footing on the slick, muddy bottom, and their streamlined shape cuts through the water with little resistance. One of nature's most ingenious adaptations lies in the hippo's facial design. Eyes, ears, and nostrils are perched high on the head, allowing the animal to see, hear, and breathe while almost completely submerged, perfect for staying cool and alert in the murky waters of Hwange's arid wilderness. During the scorching dry season, When the grass withers to a brittle gray and the earth cracks beneath the heat, water holes like Niño become critical lifelines. Hippos spend the daylight hours mostly underwater, avoiding the harsh UV rays. Their skin, thick but nearly hairless, is prone to dehydration if exposed for too long. To combat this, they secrete a pinkish oily fluid, often called blood sweat. This natural compound acts as both antibacterial agent and sunblock, helping to prevent infections from wounds sustained during social clashes or territorial disputes. Despite their bulk, hippos are strict herbivores, consuming around 30 to 40 kilograms of soft grasses each night. Occasionally, they may snack on fallen fruit, but they are not constant grazers like buffalo or zebras. Social bonds define much of a hippo's life. They live in groups called bloats, typically composed of 10 to 20 individuals, though these numbers can swell dramatically during the dry season. A dominant male controls the territory, granting him priority access to the waterhole and mating rights, while females and calves cluster near the center of the group. Ousted or younger males often live solitary lives or form bachelor pods around smaller pans. Territorial disputes are settled with terrifying power. A hippo's jaws can open nearly 180 degrees, revealing tusk-like canines up to 50 centimeters long, natural weapons capable of splitting a crocodile in two. It's this combination of power, unpredictability, and aggression that makes the hippopotamus one of Africa's most dangerous animals. Each year, they are involved in hundreds of human fatalities, often the result of surprise encounters or territorial charges at the water's edge. Yet within this volatile power lies a creature perfectly attuned to its environment, adapted, efficient, and essential to the balance of life in Hwange's unforgiving drylands. At Niño, two apex predators share the same rare muddy waters, each a master of survival in its own right. One is the towering territorial hippopotamus. The other, no less formidable, is the ancient Nile crocodile. Though they coexist, their relationship is not marked by peace nor outright conflict. Instead, an unspoken code governs their interactions. The hippo defends its herd with brute force, while the crocodile waits, still, silent, and calculating beneath the surface. Neither targets the other's adult kind. Neither dares to cross an invisible boundary etched not by treaty, but by instinct, and perhaps something deeper. The Nile crocodile is a relic of prehistory, a biological machine honed over more than 80 million years. Reaching lengths of up to 6 meters, these reptiles rank among the largest on Earth. Clad in armored scales and crowned with golden eyes that sit high upon their skulls, they watch the world with reptilian patience. Their bodies, caked in mud, lie still in the shallows, indistinguishable from the riverbed, until it's too late. No chase, no sound, just a sudden eruption from the water. Their powerful tails propel them forward in a blur. A single lunge, a bone-crushing bite, over 22,000 newtons of force, nearly 5 times that of a great white shark. The prey never sees it coming. Death arrives in silence. Equipped with integumentary sense organs along their snouts and jaws, crocodiles detect the faintest disturbance, a ripple, a vibration, as impalas or warthogs approach to drink. A single step too close, and the ambush begins. Crocodiles don't need to eat every day. They can fast for weeks, even months. But when they strike, they seldom miss. Unlike predators that chew, crocodiles rely on sheer power and a signature move, the death roll. With it, they twist and tear flesh into manageable chunks, swallowing them whole. Inside, one of the most acidic digestive systems in the animal kingdom makes short work of even bone and sinew. Yet beneath this armor of lethality lies an unexpected tenderness. As the dry season fades and rains return, The female crocodile selects a high sandy bank to lay her clutch, up to 80 eggs. For nearly 3 months, she guards them relentlessly. When the hatchlings begin to chirp from within their shells, she responds with astonishing care. One by one, she lifts them gently in her powerful jaws, the same jaws that once dragged antelope into the deep, and carries them to a nursery pool. There, in the shallows, she remains watchful. She fends off birds, snakes, large fish, even other crocodiles, to give her young the faintest chance at life in this unforgiving land. Along the muddy edge of the pan, where a Nile crocodile lies perfectly still beneath the surface, another presence cautiously approaches. Through a rising curtain of dust, black and white stripes emerge. Brittle zebras, the enduring emblems of the African plains, have come to drink. Every step they take toward the water is a calculated risk, a silent contest between thirst and the jaws that wait unseen beneath the surface. Brittle zebras are striking creatures, each one a living canvas of black ink brushed across white parchment. On their necks and shoulders, the stripes rise in vertical slashes like ancient blades, while across their flanks and hips, the lines turn horizontal, creating an illusion of motion even in stillness. Some individuals display shadow stripes, faint brown echoes between the bolder black ones, like sun-bleached memories of past dry seasons. In the Niño area, zebra herds typically gather near water in the early mornings or late afternoons when the heat softens. Each small group forms a harem, a stable social unit made up of a dominant male, several females, and their young. Within these close-knit groups, bonds are maintained through mutual grooming, a peaceful ritual in which zebras stand flank to flank, gently nibbling each other's necks and manes. It is more than hygiene. It is trust, connection, and cohesion, especially vital during long-distance movements. As the dry season intensifies and the grasses wither under the relentless tread of elephants, zebras are forced to roam further in search of fresh grazing. They do not follow fixed routes. Instead, they adjust constantly, responding to subtle shifts in vegetation and the shrinking levels of water in the pans around main camp. Their range can span dozens of kilometers each week as drought pushes them beyond familiar territories in a quest for survival. Unlike many grazers, zebras are not ruminants. Their simpler digestive system allows them to process coarse, fibrous grasses that other species reject. This dietary flexibility gives them an edge, but it comes at a cost. To extract enough nutrients, they must feed longer and drink more often, bringing them repeatedly to dangerous waterholes. And it is here, at these shared and contested water sources, that the stakes are highest. Lions, spotted hyenas, African wild dogs, all may be lurking in the shadows. Even the simple act of lowering a head to drink becomes a moment of peril, where hesitation could mean death. In a land ruled by tooth and claw, survival is earned, sip by sip. Beneath the fading veil of dust kicked up by the departing zebras, the earth begins to tremble with a deep, deliberate rhythm. From the shimmering horizon, Cape buffalo emerge, not with the alert poise of zebras, but with the resolute force of living muscle. Their arrival is not subtle, it's an announcement. In this unforgiving landscape, where weakness is swiftly punished, they endure through sheer power and the unshakable unity of the herd. Towering at shoulder heights of up to 1.5 meters and weighing more than 750 kilograms in the case of males, the Cape buffalo is a brute of the savanna. Its reputation as Black Death is no exaggeration. It comes from a long history of documented counterattacks, acts of defiance that have earned the respect and fear of predators and hunters alike. The buffalo's sweeping horns curve upward from a massive, fused base known as the boss, both a weapon and a badge of genetic dominance, passed down through generations. Males tend to be heavier, with broader, thicker horns, but when threatened, both sexes respond with the same readiness to fight. And critically, they rarely fight alone. At Namandlovu Pan, where artificial waterholes serve as lifelines during the parched months of the dry season, Cape buffalo gather in formidable numbers. A herd may consist of just a few dozen or swell to over 1,000, but these gatherings are not haphazard. They are strategic, evolved formations built for survival. At the center, calves and females stay tightly packed, shielded by a protective perimeter of adult males. It is a mobile fortress, a living barricade few predators dare to challenge. In a place where danger often comes in silence and speed, the Cape buffalo thrives by standing its ground and standing together. As the last echoes of the Cape buffalo herd fade into the shimmering horizon, the ground still seems to hum with their passing. But a new presence begins to take shape, vast, deliberate, and unmistakable. The largest land animal on Earth is arriving. From a distance, the African elephant emerges, unhurried and calm, yet commanding a reverent silence across the savanna. Nothing dares to stand in its path, not because of aggression, but because of a presence that radiates power, intelligence, and profound social depth. Adult males can stand over 3 meters tall at the shoulder and weigh between 5,200 and nearly 7,000 kilograms. Yet for all their massive bulk, their movements are astonishingly gentle, silent even, leaving behind only deep, rounded footprints in the scorched earth. With each slow step, their wide ears flap rhythmically, like built-in fans, helping regulate body temperature in the relentless African heat. Their long ivory tusks, which grow throughout their lives, serve many purposes: digging for water beneath dry riverbeds, stripping bark from trees, defending against threats, and foraging with precision. Tragically, these same tusks have made elephants a prime target for poaching across the continent. But the elephant's most remarkable tool is its trunk, a complex fusion of nose and upper lip, capable of astonishing dexterity. It can pluck a single blade of grass or draw up dozens of liters of water in a single breath. African elephants live within deeply bonded matriarchal societies. Each herd is led by the oldest and wisest female, the matriarch, who guides the group's movements, decides when to rest or travel, and responds to threats using a memory built over decades. Studies have shown that elephants possess extraordinary long-term memory, allowing them to recall water sources and migratory paths even after many years. This knowledge often means the difference between survival and death during extended droughts. Communication among elephants is equally remarkable. Beyond audible trumpeting and rumbling, they use infrasound, low-frequency vibrations that travel across the ground for kilometers. These signals allow distant herds to stay in contact, coordinate movements, and warn one another of danger. And their emotional depth is undeniable. When one of their own dies, elephants have been observed approaching the body, lingering, touching the remains with their trunks, and displaying behaviors akin to mourning. In 2023, researchers in the Kavango-Zambezi Transfrontier Conservation Area documented such scenes, rituals of remembrance that suggest a level of empathy rarely seen in the animal kingdom. Here, in the sun-baked heart of Africa, the elephant moves not just through space, but through time, memory, and meaning. Wild beasts are a defining feature of the African savanna landscape, known for their impressive migrations and significant role in the ecosystem. However, these robust herbivores face numerous threats from predators that stalk the savanna, making their lives a constant battle for survival. The African savanna is home to a variety of predators, including lions, hyenas, leopards, and African wild dogs. Each of these carnivorous species poses a distinct threat to wildebeests, employing various hunting strategies to capture their prey. Lions, for example, hunt in coordinated packs, using teamwork to isolate and overwhelm individual wildebeests. African wild dogs, on the other hand, rely on endurance, chasing their prey over long distances until the wildebeests are too exhausted to escape. While adult wildebeests are formidable creatures, capable of defending themselves in a group, the young and weak are particularly vulnerable to predation. Calves are often targeted by predators because they are smaller, slower, and lack the protective instincts of older wildebeests. In addition, during the calving season, which typically coincides with the Great Migration, large numbers of vulnerable young are born, creating an opportunity for predators to easily pick off their prey. The loss of young wildebeests not only impacts the immediate herd, but can also threaten the sustainability of the population over time. Wildebeests have developed complex social behaviors that serve to enhance their chances of survival in the face of predation. Living in large herds allows them to benefit from collective vigilance. When many individuals are on the lookout for danger, the likelihood of spotting a predator increases significantly. In times of threat, wildebeests often engage in erratic movement, running in different directions to confuse their attackers. This chaotic flight response can disorient predators, providing an opportunity for escape. The Great Migration, one of the most famous wildlife spectacles in the world, is both a vital survival strategy and a perilous journey for wildebeests. During this migration, millions of wildebeests traverse vast distances in search of greener pastures and water sources. While this journey provides access to fresh grasslands, it also exposes them to a heightened risk of predation. Predators often follow the herds, taking advantage of the weakened animals during this strenuous journey. As the wildebeests cross rivers, they face additional risks. Crocodiles lurking in the water can ambush those attempting to ford the streams. Wildebeests face numerous dangers from predators on the African savanna, making survival a daily challenge. From the threats posed by lions and hyenas to the vulnerabilities of the young and weak, the life of a wildebeest is fraught with peril. Their social strategies, migratory patterns, and adaptive behaviors are all crucial for mitigating these risks. Across the vast savanna, the blue wildebeest, known as Niño, roams as one of its most iconic and abundant inhabitants. Adult wildebeests are formidable creatures weighing up to 270 kilograms and measuring between 1.5 and 2.4 meters in length. Their grayish-brown coats, streaked with black stripes, help them blend seamlessly into the wild landscape. Yet, this camouflage offers little protection against the relentless gaze of predators. Their characteristic curved, sharp, and sturdy horns serve multiple purposes: defense against attackers and contests of dominance within the herd. During the dry season, wildebeests are constantly on the move, traversing sun-scorched grasslands where the ground seems to melt under the relentless heat. Their robust legs and hardened hooves give them a vital advantage, enabling them to cover dozens of kilometers daily in their unyielding search for water. Living in herds is their most significant evolutionary strategy. A lone wildebeest is vulnerable, but in the company of thousands, they become a nearly impenetrable fortress. The strongest adults take their places at the periphery, forming a protective barrier around the calves and weaker members nestled at the center. This collective solidarity is the essence of their survival, a testament to the savanna's harsh lessons. When danger looms, hundreds of watchful eyes scan the horizon. The herd reacts as one, swift, deliberate, and united. Their strength lies not just in their numbers, but in their unwavering commitment to one another. Breaking through their defenses is no easy feat. Their sharp horns are always poised for action, and even a lion may find itself outmatched when faced with the herd's collective power. Wildebeests often graze in mixed groups alongside zebras, a partnership rooted in mutual benefit. Zebras, with their keen eyesight, can spot predators from as far as 2.5 kilometers away. Their warning calls alert the wildebeests, allowing the herd to adopt a defensive formation before the threat strikes. This vigilance is crucial, as the wildebeest is a favored prey of lions, hyenas, and African wild dogs. Each predator brings its own hunting style to the savanna's harsh theater of survival. Lions rely on their raw strength, hyenas on their cunning and bone-crushing jaws, and African wild dogs on their unmatched endurance. Chases between wild dogs and wildebeests are a common spectacle, with the dogs pursuing tirelessly until exhaustion claims their prey. When the dry season tightens its grip, the struggle intensifies. Dust rises in choking clouds, carried by the hot winds that sweep across the arid expanse. Even the mightiest wildebeest cannot escape the ambushes of the spotted hyena, a predator as bold as it is ruthless. With powerful group hunting tactics, hyenas target the weak and young. Hidden among the bushes near a dwindling waterhole, a hyena pack watches a herd of wildebeests. The alpha female growls softly, her sharp teeth glinting in the fading light. For hyenas, hunting is not sport. It is survival. As the hyenas advance like a shadowy storm, their growls shatter the stillness. Chaos erupts within the wildebeest herd, but the adults quickly rally. They form a defensive circle, placing the calves in the center. The alpha female charges, aiming to isolate a young wildebeest. The calf runs desperately, but the harsh ground and searing heat sap its strength. The hyenas close in, circling like vultures, but the herd does not yield. An adult male wildebeest, his sharp horns glinting, charges at the alpha hyena with a thunderous bellow that echoes across the plains. Other adults join the fray, their collective strength forcing the predators to hesitate. Dust swirls thick and suffocating as the confrontation intensifies. The growls of hyenas clash with the defiant bellows of the wildebeests in a brutal struggle for survival. In the savannah, there are no guarantees of victory, yet one truth is undeniable. The wildebeest's strength is not in the individual, but in their unity. This collective spirit, gifted by nature, enables them to protect one another and endure the savannah's merciless trials. The battle may end without a clear victor, but the wildebeests have once again demonstrated the power of solidarity, a force strong enough to defy even the fiercest of predators. The Serengeti, with its expansive savannas, diverse ecosystems, and rich wildlife, is one of Africa's most celebrated wildlife reserves. Among its many inhabitants, the rhinoceros stands out as a symbol of both magnificence and fragility. Known for their impressive size, unique physical characteristics, and significant ecological role, rhinoceroses in the Serengeti represent an integral part of the region's biodiversity. However, the species faces numerous challenges that threaten its survival. Rhinoceroses are among the largest land mammals, distinguished by their thick skin, sizable bodies, and one or two horns situated on their snouts. In the Serengeti, the two primary species found are the black rhinoceros, Diceros bicornis, and the white rhinoceros, Ceratotherium cymum. The black rhinoceros is smaller, known for its hooked lip adapted for grasping leaves and twigs, while the white rhinoceros is larger and has a square lip that enables it to graze efficiently on grasses. These majestic creatures exhibit a variety of behaviors that reflect their adaptations to the Serengeti environment. Rhinoceroses are generally solitary animals, with males establishing territories that they mark with dung and urine. Females, on the other hand, often have a home range that overlaps with other females. They are primarily herbivorous, consuming a diet of grasses, shrubs, and leaves, which makes them crucial for maintaining the health of the savanna ecosystem. By grazing and browsing, rhinoceroses contribute to the regulation of vegetation growth, thus creating habitats for other species and promoting biodiversity. In the Serengeti, rhinoceroses share their habitat with several formidable predators. Among these are lions, hyenas, and crocodiles, each of which poses unique challenges to both adult rhinos and their vulnerable calves. While adult rhinoceroses, particularly the larger white rhinos, have few natural enemies due to their size and strength, Young or weakened individuals are more susceptible to predation. Lions are the apex predators of the Serengeti and are known for their strength and social hunting strategies. A pride of lions can pose a significant threat to a lone or vulnerable rhino, particularly calves separated from their mothers. Lions often employ ambush tactics, using the tall grass to conceal their approach before launching a swift attack. Hyenas, known for their scavenging abilities, can also collaborate in groups to target weaker individuals. Their keen senses and relentless persistence enable them to exploit situations where a rhinoceros might be at a disadvantage. Rhinoceroses play a vital ecological role in the Serengeti, acting as mega herbivores that help shape the landscape. Their feeding habits can influence plant community structures as they consume large quantities of vegetation. This activity not only promotes a diversity of plant species, but also creates open areas for smaller herbivores to thrive. Additionally, their dung is a source of nutrients for various organisms and helps to fertilize the soil, further enriching the ecosystem. Furthermore, rhinoceroses serve as a link in the food web, impacting the populations of their prey and influencing the behavior of predators. Their presence in the Serengeti is indicative of a healthy ecosystem, as they are sensitive to changes in their environment. Thus, the conservation of rhinoceroses is essential not only for their survival, but for the overall health of the Serengeti. Warthogs are distinct members of the pig family, native to the African savanna. With their rugged appearance, characterized by elongated tusks and a mane of coarse hair along their backs, warthogs have adapted to thrive in the challenging ecosystems of the savanna. One of the most immediate dangers facing warthogs in the African savanna is predation. Warthogs are preyed upon by a variety of carnivores, including lions, leopards, hyenas, and wild dogs. Their size and relatively robust build give them some advantage in defending themselves, but they are particularly vulnerable when foraging for food or when young. Warthog piglets are especially exposed to danger, as their small size makes them easy targets for larger predators. To mitigate this risk, warthogs have developed certain behavioral adaptations. They often graze in open areas where they can quickly spot approaching predators. Unlike some other herbivores that rely on herding for safety, warthogs are known to retreat into burrows, often those abandoned by aardvarks when threatened. This instinctual behavior shows their reliance on both their physical environment and the burrowing habits of other animals for protection. The African savanna is a dynamic environment characterized by seasonal changes that can significantly affect the availability of food and water. During dry seasons, many grass species wither and die, forcing warthogs to travel greater distances in search of sustenance. This not only increases the risk of predation, but also heightens competition with other herbivores. Moreover, warthogs also contend with competition from other herbivores, including grazers like zebras and wildebeest. Warthogs are known for their social grooming and familial bonds. They often live in small groups, usually consisting of a few females and their young. However, competition for resources can lead to increased aggression and stress within these groups, ultimately affecting their health and reproductive success. Additionally, fitting into the complex food web of the savanna means that warthogs must constantly adapt to the presence of rival species.